Carbohydrates, guidance by Aishwarya Balap ma'am, represented by Prerna Chaukute, Aarti Chauhan, Vedasri Dumkekar, Devendra Dudade, Shubham Galande, Nilesh Gogre, Dipali Gosavi, Neeraj Hiramat, and Kirti Ishte. Carbohydrates are broadly defined as polyhydroxy, aldehyde, and ketone, and their derivatives are as substances that yield one of these compounds. It composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and functional group present including the hydroxyl group. It is indicate the sugar that is suffix used by OSC. Carbohydrates are most abundant organic compound. In plants, energy from sun is used to convert carbon dioxide and water in carbohydrates glucose. Many of glucose molecules are made up into a long chain polymers of starch that stores energy. About 65% of food in our diet consists of carbohydrates. Each day, we utilize carbohydrates in food such as bread, pasta, potatoes, and rice. During digestion and cellular disaccharides include sucrose and lactose in milk. In plants, a polymer of a glucose called the cellulose builds the structural framework. Cellulose has other important uses too. The wood in our furniture, the pages, and the cotton in our things are made up of cellulose. Their source of energy from the cell, the major structural component of a plant cell, immediate energy in from the cellulose, and reserve and store energy in the form of glycogen. There are three types of carbohydrate. First is monosaccharide, second is oligosaccharide. Oligosaccharides are classified by three types: disaccharide, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide, and third one is polysaccharide. Monosaccharides are simple sugar or the compound which possess a free aldehyde or ketone group and two or more hydroxyl groups. They are the simplest sugar and cannot be hydrolyzed further into smaller units. Monosaccharides are contain a single carbon chain and are classified on basis of number of carbon atom they possess, aldoses or ketoses depending upon their groups. Then we are the two examples, that is dextrose and levose. That first is a blood sugar and second is fructose sugar. Monosaccharides, the classification by the carbon atoms. There are the different types of sugars. First is triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose are in the form of aldose and ketoses. The second one is oligosaccharide. These are compound sugar that yield 2 to 20 molecules of same or different monosaccharides on hydrolysis. Accordingly, oligosaccharides yield 2 molecules of monosaccharide on hydrolysis are designed as disaccharide, and one yield 3 molecules of monosaccharides as trisaccharide, and so on. The disaccharides is sucrose, lactose, maltose. Trisaccharides, raffinose, and that is a tetrasaccharide. Disaccharides composed of 2 monosaccharides. Cells can make disaccharides by joining 2 monosaccharides by biosynthesis. Glucose plus fructose is equal to sucrose. It is a table sugar. It is found in plants like sugar cane, sugar beets, honey, maple syrup. Sucrose may be purified from plant into the brown, white, and powder sugar. Second one is a glucose plus galactose is equal to the form lactose, the primary sugar in milk products. Many people have problems of large amount of lactose, that is a lactose intolerance. Third one is glucose plus glucose is equal to the maltose. Is produced when the starch breakdown. There are sources of lactose, maltose, and sucrose are in tabular form. Polysaccharides. Polysaccharide containing 10 or more monosaccharide unit attached together. Examples: starch digestible, glycogen digestible, fiber indigestible. Long chain of glucose units from these polysaccharides. Cellulose gives structure to plants' fibers to our diet. Glycogen in an energy storage sugar produced by animal. Liver cells synthesize glycogen after the meal to maintain the blood sugar level. Great majority of carbohydrates of nature occur as polysaccharides. Chemically, the polysaccharides may be distinguished into the homopolysaccharides, which yield on hydrolysis a single monosaccharide, heteropolysaccharides, which produce the mixture of monosaccharides on hydrolysis based on their functional aspects. The polysaccharides is may be grouped under the two heads. First one is the nutrients or the digestible polysaccharides. This acts as a metabolic reserve of monosaccharides in plants and animals. Example: starch, glycogen, and insulin. Second one is structural or indigestible polysaccharide. These act as a rigid mechanical structure in plants and animals. Example: cellulose, pectin, chitin, and also hyaluronic acid and the chondroitin. The next one is types of polysaccharides. The first one is starch, the major digestible polysaccharide in our diet. Storage in the form of carbohydrates in plants. Source of starch is wheat, rice, corns, barley, potatoes, yams, etc. The following are the structures of starch. Second one is cellulose. Cellulose forms cell wall in plant cells, also called fiber or roughage. Cellulose indigestible by humans. The following chain-like structure of cellulose. The third type of polysaccharides is glycogen, the storage form of glucose in our body. The stored in liver and muscles in our body and not found in plants. It is found in tiny amounts in meat sources. The following branch-like structure of glycogen. Disorders of carbohydrates. There are four main disorders of carbohydrates. First one is diabetes mellitus, second one is hyperglycemia, third one is hypoglycemia, and fourth one is carbohydrates intolerance. The first one disorder is diabetes mellitus. The diabetes mellitus is a group of diseases that results in too much sugar in the blood, that is high blood glucose level in our blood. The cause of diabetes is regardless of types is having too much glucose circulating in your bloodstream. There are two types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, that is the immune system disease. Our body attacks and destroys insulin producing cells in your pancreas. Without insulin to allow glucose to enter your cells, glucose builds up in your bloodstream. Second one is type 2 diabetes mellitus. Your body cells don't allow insulin to work as it should to let glucose into its cells. Your body cells have become resistant to insulin. Symptoms of diabetes mellitus: blurred vision, frequent urination, slow healing source of cuts, dry mouths are the symptoms of diabetes mellitus. Second disease is hyperglycemia. It is also called high blood sugar level. High blood sugar level affects the people who have diabetes. The several factors can contribute to hyperglycemia in people with diabetes, including food and physical activity, choice, illness, non-diabetic medications, or skipping or not taking enough glucose lowering medication. Early signs and symptoms: the frequent urination, fatigue, blurred vision, and the latter signs and symptoms: the fruiting smelling breath, shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, coma, abdominal pain. These are the symptoms of hyperglycemia. Third one disease is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is a condition in which your blood sugar glucose level is lower than the standard range. Mild to moderate low blood glucose can be easily treated, but several low blood glucose can cause serious complications including passing out, coma, or death. Hypoglycemia unawareness, a condition in which you don't notice any symptoms of low blood glucose until your blood glucose level has dropped very low. Symptoms of hypoglycemia: the symptoms like dizziness, headache, shaky or jerkiness, lose consciousness, and can't see or speak clearly. The last one is carbohydrate intolerance. Carbohydrate intolerance is inability to digest certain carbohydrates due to lack of one or more intestinal enzymes. Symptoms including diarrhea, abdominal distension, and flatulence. Diagnosis is clinical and by the hydrogen breed test, and treatment is removal of causative disaccharide from the diet. Thank you for watching this informative video regarding carbohydrates.